Who knows what secrets dwell beneath the ocean vast and wide, or what became of those who tried to fight the turning tide? The night is dark, the storm is fierce, but nothing should we fear. Come round and light the candles bright, for spring is almost here. We bind the saplings, wreathed in grain, as folk did long before. We crown a maiden as our queen, and cast her from the shore. For as the land gives gifts to those who sow and reap the grain, the sea in turn must have its due when green tide comes again. O mother of the endless tides, O queen of depths unseen, accept these humble gifts we bring upon your mantle green. Fill our nets with gleaming fish, and spare our sailors brave. For all the rest, take what you must beneath the rolling wave.
Hello and welcome to the long-awaited second part of our Trophy Dark game, where our intrepid, not quite heroes are journeying down into the ocean, onto the ocean, probably into the ocean, to find riches and treasure, and nothing terrible will ever befall them. My name is Anniek. I am the keeper today. I will be playing everyone and everything my players are not playing. Yes, the mustache. Some were warned in advance. Some already saw it last time we played this. I have been told I'm not allowed to retaliate against the mustache. We will see how long I last. We are going to quickly go around and let my players tell you who they're playing today, and then we're just going to jump right in. Maybe a really brief recap, like 4 sentences. We'll see how much I remember as well, because it's been a while. Starting by pointing out the sad inevitability. Soul isn't here today. They had something come up and couldn't make it, so we're going to go on without them. Maybe they can hop on later. We don't know. If that happens, we'll go to a quick break, and they'll appear. And otherwise, hopefully next week. All right. In that case, I'm going to go on the order of my Zoom screen, because it's easier than trying to find the overlay. Wild.
Yes, hello, I'm Wild. I am playing Andre, a Demonologist and Artisan on this board who is not double cursed, because why would he be?
Indeed. Kai.
Hi, I'm Kai, and I'm playing Sir Mordarin the Amorous, who is having a great time without his ex-wife. You know, he's just getting over it really well.
Yep. Hardly ever brings her up at all. Doesn't think about her.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Totally over her.
Oh yeah. So previously, Sir Mordarin has been described as that one guy from Am I the Asshole? Or every guy from Am I the Asshole? Kay.
Hey, well, I'm Kate Purcell. I work in video games to do TTRPG stuff every free moment that I get. Today I'm playing Burton. Burton is an artificer and just an all-around good feller. And, you know, clearly nothing, no skeletons in a closet, nothing bad gonna happen here.
Absolutely nothing bad will ever happen to anyone in Trophy Dark. Speaking of, Baker.
Hi, my name's Baker. I'm playing Forrest today, who I am desperately trying to make reasonable. But we'll see. Took my meds a little late.
To make reasonable.
I've been listening to a lot of Taylor Swift. I'm gonna try and not drop lyrics into the middle of my statements.
I'm gonna give you a dark die for everyone I recognize. Which is actually not the threat you think it is, because I've listened to 0 Taylor Swift. Sorry.
I know, which is why
maybe Chet will help me out.
Hey, that's cheating.
No, it's crowdsourcing. Anyway, very, very brief recap from last time, because we did re-air last week, but I will not name names, but some people didn't even know their characters anymore. This lovely group of people showed up at an unnamed village in an unnamed city near an unnamed ocean, with reasons all their own, but currently all here because they wanted to join in with the Gift of the Sea ceremony. There is a festival in this lovely little town where they built a beautiful effigy. People give offerings to the effigy. They have to be worth something if you want the magic to work. Nearly got into a fight with a drunk. Got hit on severely by single women in town who are starved for options. Taught children things children should not be taught. Blissfully unaware of other plots happening around them, specifically by a player who isn't here today and is therefore not here to reap their rewards. Had some weird experiences with said effigy. The effigy morphed and had appeared to them as definitely not the effigy, which is apparently not a luring thing for certain characters because they went back for more. Found lodgings in someone's shed because this place is too small for an inn. And in the morning, someone else sneak past Forrest, who is an excellent bodyguard, got onto them. Had a lovely breakfast with the people they had, whose shed they had stayed in, and were in the process of joining the boats who are taking the effigy and all of the treasures out onto the ocean to give the bounty truly to the ocean goddess. There is rumor of a legendary cove where all the treasures from the last years have been kept. So yeah, we're gonna pick it up right at the shore, I guess. You're at the boats. The Tide Queen's effigy has been properly secured to one of the larger vessels. I'll make the music a little less creepy. We're just going out onto the ocean with some boats for a party. I don't know why the music is scary right now.
So normal.
It's a happy occasion.
Nothing bad's gonna happen.
Exactly. These are all just fishing boats with just prettied up, right? I described last time how children are like carrying flowers and kelp and seashells. The adults have prevented the children from messing with the effigy too much, but some of the boats look a little less edited. There's a lot of stuff on them. Everyone's wearing bright colors. Clearly their feast day best. There's ribbons, there's bells. Much to the relief of some incredibly hungover teenagers, the sun is now hiding behind the clouds. Yeah. All yours?
How big are these fishing boats? Like, are these like rowboats or are these like a little bit like
Different sizes. The effigy is on the largest one, which is large, honestly. Clearly more of a seaworthy vessel. A lot of the smaller boats are clearly just coastal fishing boats. Most families are picking like their own boats, putting their children with their parents' boats. The larger boat is already holding several people and will hold several more.
Is the boat we're going on, is it like big enough to have like a figurehead and all that, or is it just like standard seafaring fishing boat?
You've not been assigned a boat.
Yeah.
Oh.
You'll have to find one. I mean, you're welcome to join, but they don't have like a neat little passenger list with, oh, Mr. Andre, you're on cabin 4, right?
So you jump
Cabins?
onto a boat.
Hmm?
Oh,
Which
so you
one?
just jump onto a boat?
Yeah, pick a boat.
Okay.
I think like Burton kind of looks around for Teeth, who's clearly off doing their thing, and kind
You have
of
no idea where Teeth went.
kind of sidles up to Forrest and elbows her a little bit in the ribs and, hey, do you now look, I don't know much about this, right? But do you know which of those boats is going to be big enough to keep us safe from like the undertow?
You know, I do personal protection.
Yeah.
Not so much boats. Boats aren't my thing. Maybe ask someone from fishing school.
Fishing
I'm
school,
sure-
is that a thing?
I absolutely have to believe it is.
All
What else
right.
are they going to teach someone here?
Well, I feel like
Underwater
that's a
basket
trade.
weaving.
Yeah, that's more a trade, not a. Never mind. And gonna wander off.
Navigation is far too tricky to just be a learned skill on the go. What if the most important people die and suddenly like only the apprentice are left in the boat? They gotta have some navigation skills.
I mean, yeah, but again, I don't. Never mind. Let's try to find a boat, yeah? And like looks nervously at Sir Mordarin and tries to get to sailors and people before he does.
Oh, he's already confidently walking towards a boat. If you walked somewhere else, he'll just like turn around and think like, "Oh my gosh, I was totally gonna go there." So the yeah, him going along is just like a stopgap for like if we don't make a decision, he'll make one for you. That's a threat.
And Andre is definitely inspecting the biggest, cleanest looking boat there is.
And that's the one with the effigy on it. It is
Yes.
shining. It is clearly the pride of their fleet.
I mean,
What could possibly go wrong? Being on the same boat as the effigy, like it's gonna be a normal trip. So normal.
exactly.
Forrest is gonna walk up to like someone who looks like they know about boats and just be like, "Hey, I was wondering if you could point us in a direction of somewhere we could get passage out on the water, like a boat that would have room for us."
All four?
All four.
Where's the other fella you went with?
I have no idea. He's kind of sketchy
You're
What?
not wrong.
and quite the liar.
Now you say that, but I heard some pretty interesting things from him. Anywho,
Yeah.
all four of you. Honestly, I think that's gonna be either the one with the effigy, he just gestures at the big shiny boat, or yeah, no, the one at the back there with the pink ribbons only has 2 crew. That'll hold you as well.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna walk back up to everyone and be like, "All right, so our choices are the pink ribbons or the effigy, whichever one we'd all like to get on. I don't know if we have to offer payment, but if we do, we'll get that covered. And
I got it
also-
covered.
Yeah, I know. I have your money.
Oh, right, you don't carry your own money. I forgot.
Look now. I've heard all.
Touching money is for poor people. We all understand.
I'm all for the biggest one we can get on because I don't know exactly. Like I keep hearing about the undertow. No one's explained it to me, so I don't know if it's got like tentacles or if there's like an arm that comes out and grabs you. I just want to be on the biggest thing so
Oh.
it can't like get me and pull.
The undertow is like a current within the ocean.
Oh, I
And
thought
it
it
will-
was like a beastie that would like.
No, it's a current within the ocean. It's normally under a certain amount of water.
Oh, so just don't go in the water. Any boat. All right. Okay, that makes more sense now. That's why I've never had it
Yeah.
explained to me.
Okay.
But the safest boat is probably gonna be the one with the effigy on it, because they want to keep it safe. It's valuable, right? So let's just like be on that boat.
Yeah.
I mean, unless the
Mm.
god attacks it.
I mean,
Uh.
the effigy boat is the most aesthetically pleasing, and I'm sure the gods appreciate things like good fashion and taste. So
Yeah, they wouldn't do
just-
anything to it.
logically, it's the best one to go.
Can I
Okay.
just look around real quick and make sure, like, are we as like private as we could be in this area? Is there anyone like clearly eavesdropping?
Oh, several people.
All right. So I'm gonna try. Burton's gonna be just as quiet as they can be.
You
Be
hear
like,
a lot of people giggling about your misunderstanding of Undertow. Like, oh my god, do you think I'm in a kraken or something? What the fuck is that? The Undertow has tentacles.
So, if we're trying to get where we're trying to get, do we want to be on a boat where maybe we can bribe someone to get us there? Or is it better to be where the effigy is and maybe we can just knowing what we're trying to do?
I say we make it look as Forrest is gonna lean in and go, one, this is not a place for that conversation. And two, we can handle that after the ceremony. Thumbs up?
So biggest boat it is.
Yeah!
We all know
I've
bigger
had
is
Anniek
better.
long enough to know when to shut up.
You can take the pink ribbon boat. You can do whatever you want. I mean, we have another 6 hours of this game.
No, I meant like to stop talking because people can overhear us.
Oh yeah, no, I love having NPCs eavesdrop and then betraying you later. As a
Yes.
fact of life, that is true.
Yes. Yes, I know.
You've been burned before.
I'm aware.
Oh,
right, then.
traumatizing my players. All right, so effigy boat.
Looks like
Yes.
that's the plan.
Forrest is going to double check to see if they have a tithe box anywhere.
There is no tithe box. Basically, anything you were willing to give, you gave yesterday, and today is just taking what is given to the tithe queen.
Okay, so we don't have to do a second tithe.
No.
Okay.
Why would anyone tithe twice? Like, once isn't
Right?
bad enough.
Who does that?
One's for the god and one's for the people. But
Like, how many times do you want your soul to be ripped apart? I mean, gee. Anywho, Teeth does not show up. For the somewhat keen-eared, you do hear a teenager mentioning someone by the description of Teeth, who was like, yeah, they helped me with the box, and then told me to eat raw eggs. And I spent like half an hour hurling, and I would still have to go on the boat.
Oh,
If I find them, oh god, I'll show them a raw egg. I swear.
Forrest just walks up to the kid. When I was hungover, I just do a 10-mile run until I throw up, and then I go back.
no, you just drink a whole lot of milk and it just coats the tummy.
No! What is wrong with you? Just exercise until
Please.
you work the alcohol out of your system.
I know I'm supposed to be nice to the strangers, but please stop talking. This all sounds awful.
But Forrest is also really nice and just produces bread and go, the real trick is to carbo load. Here's some bread, kid.
Oh god, thank you.
And it's just plain, like, almost like the flat, like, saltine tack bread.
Yeah. No, this is one of the teenagers you saw at the bonfire yesterday, drinking half of whatever the fuck Teeth brought on a dare. Regret. So much regret.
Yep. All right, I guess
Right,
we'll amble
everybody's
on up to
safe
the big
aboard?
boat. And
Yeah. Beautiful. You get on a nice big boat, Burton. It looks seaworthy and like it could withstand an undertow now that someone has somewhat explained to you what it is. No tentacles involved, fortunately, at this point. I feel like I need to clarify that part.
one big worry off my mind.
Exactly. For now. Both set off. It's a nice looking procession. Not everyone is fit today. Let's leave it there. The teenager isn't the only one who overindulged, but in general, a lot of the adults are used to sailing while not physically entirely happy. So they maintain somewhat of a formation as they go out of the bay into the wide open ocean. Some of you have had some experience with this. For some of you, this is entirely new. I think most of you behaved rather well last night, so I don't think anyone is... Unless you're naturally inclined to seasickness, I think most of you would be okay with this.
I think having sailed with Teeth before and knowing how, Burton is immediately trying to find work to do and trying to help, because that was when they sailed with Teeth. Even as a paying passenger, Teeth put them to work. So they think that's just how this works. So they're, again, just trying to do it all.
One of the elderly ladies just, oh, do you really want to help, dearie?
Of course, that's what you do.
Beautiful. I have a very important job for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sit right here and don't move. Bad boy. Right. There you go. And she bustles off and lifts this rope that looks like it weighs 10 of you, just hauls it over her shoulder and bustles off.
Huh. Well, this is different.
Yeah, big boat, effigy, ocean. Any wild plans at this point? Are we leading questions? I'm well aware. Feel free to branch away from what I'm asking. Are you doing anything with effigy? Are you trying to track navigation? Are you just blindly staring ahead? Below deck, stealing their stores? There's all kinds of valid options right now.
I'm probably just like, he's probably blankly staring ahead, but he's probably just like, the ocean, my place.
I fought everyone who lives here.
Yeah, I can, what an adventure, I can do this.
The color of the ocean reminds me of the color of her eyes. I think. Were they brown?
And no, it doesn't. But it kind of does. But no, it doesn't.
And even if it did, it wouldn't hurt me anymore.
Are we allowed onto the boat yet, or are they?
You're on the boat. You're sailing away.
Andre's just gonna be like.
We glossed over the minutiae of the party. That's boring.
Yeah, Andre's just gonna be like in. Since the effigy is going to be given to the sea, they're just going to like use it as reference to like whittle stuff and try and make miniature carvings.
All
right. Forrest is leaning, like if there's someplace to sit near the deck where she can semi-see land, she's like noting markers along the shore that she can see, and then if we get farther out, she's gonna note the last marker and just kind of use the sun to figure out like which direction we're heading.
Okay. I accept that you are doing that. We will find out later if that is in any way successful.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Burton is absolutely staying put. He has decided that it's really important that this box is weighed down, so but is also trying to he's very good at navigating on land. The ocean's a different creature though, so he's trying very hard to, again, find markers and figure out where we are, keep track of all of that.
Perfect. All right. It takes a while. I mean, some of you are tracking the sun. It's a solid hour and a half out to sea. There's a few little islands nearby, nothing that looks like it would hold the treasure trove of decades, basically. At some point, you notice that all the ships are slowing down, they're getting closer together, and the main ship, I'm sure there's a proper word for this, but the one you're on, the people who are in their bright, happy clothing are starting to gather near the foredeck. Old lady is bustling back up to Burton. Up you get, dearie. Now's the time. You know the words, don't you? And just walks off again.
Starts looking frantically around. The words. Do y'all know the words?
People are already humming under their breath. There's clearly either a hymn or some kind of song.
Do any of y'all know the words? Where in tarnation is Teeth?
Forrest is just gonna lean back and go, hey, what are the words?
Well, I was told whenever you don't know the word, just mouth watermelon over and over again. It'll look like you're singing.
I don't want to piss off a goddess today. Or a god. or anyone, or the Tide Queen.
Agreed.
Oh, I mean, after they say the word, you say the word. Whatever.
It'll
Alright.
be fine.
Oh
Burton's
God!
Burton's gonna listen to the humming and like try to at least get like the
Get the
pace of the
tune right.
song. Yeah, like
Yeah. It's one of those carried songs. It clearly originated as like a sailor song with a call response rhythm in it. I don't think any of you would actually understand these words though, looking at character backgrounds. At some point, all the boats are stopped. They're pulled in closer together. There's like a little half circle on the water. The people on your ship are starting up the actual song. It is a very rousing song. I don't have any music for you because who knows. They're starting to pick up the effigy and they are hauling her towards the edge of the ship, clearly ready to tip her overboard.
Burton's
Are there
looking
any-
just a little pale watching her go.
They tip her overboard, and Burton is clearly looking at the effigy. What are the other three of you doing?
I'm gonna take my cues. If people are standing back and watching, I will stand back and watch. If people are going forward to help, I will see if I can find a space to help push the effigy over.
Basically, everyone's trying to at least like have a hand on the effigy as she goes over.
I'm gonna go to the back, and
Andre's gonna try to find the best viewpoint to see the effigy go in.
I'll probably have like a hand. I'm probably not doing a lot. Just like I'm doing it too.
Go us!
Yeah.
Perfect. In that case, I would like ruin rolls from Andre, Burton, and Forrest, because at the moment this effigy is actually tipped overboard and it sort of half twists, and you're looking at her face and you could swear that this is not a crafted effigy. This is an actual person who looks absolutely anguished.
for ruin.
Which dice you mean?
Do we just roll 1d6 or?
Let me check for you.
It's all of the runes that are marked off, right?
Yeah, because it depends on your character sheet how many ruin you took for like cool spells and stuff.
I took 1.
Oh, that's a fair deal.
You've got 2 rune dice then.
You always have
start
at
with
least
one,
one
always
if you
marked.
didn't mark
Yeah.
anything off.
We have to roll over the number of ruin we have, right?
I got a 3
You
and
get
a
you roll
6.
basically you roll your dark die, and if you rolled higher than your current ruin, you mark an additional ruin. So you only have to roll one. Your amount of ruin is your target number.
Okay.
I'm not rolling ruin, right?
No, you're just sort of not touching anything, not really paying attention.
Yeah.
Your,
Okay.
your blissful
Yeah.
unawareness is coming in clutch right now.
We love that. Woo!
Wait,
Yay,
if I'm
team!
back, how am I seeing the face?
Oh,
It like twists, I think.
it
Like
twists half around. You know how those creepy busts can like rotate like an owl's head? Sir Mordarin is busier looking to notice if other people notice him helping.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I rolled a 6.
Marker ruin.
rolled a 4 over 2.
I'm just gonna be sending some DMs out right now.
It's fine. This is fine.
I bet everyone's gonna have a great time here. So Mordarin's like, woo! She's
all
going
gonna be great.
overboard.
We're all gonna have a good time.
We did it! The
Jesus,
sacrifice!
yes to that. Okay. Hang on, I just had this one up. There it is. Baker,
Yeah.
what did you get?
I got a 3 and a 6.
Okay, no. I said it wrong the first time. You have to roll 1 die.
Oh, I only had to roll 1 die?
Yes, the
Can
amount
I
of ruin is your
re-roll then?
target number, not the amount of die you roll. I was unclear in my explanation, and I apologize.
I'm gonna re-roll because I rolled 2
That
die.
is perfectly fine.
Okay. Well, I got a 1.
Perfect. You're perfectly fine.
Okay.
Very cool special effects.
So if we only rolled 1, because I rolled 2, it was a 2 and I have 2, so I don't know if that changes the target
No,
number.
you're still...
Okay, cool, perfect.
You still have an issue with this.
That's great.
Okay. Andre and or Burton. I mean, I've already asked Andre this before. How are you doing? How are we feeling?
I think even though we're not in water, the part of them that looks more aquatic definitely feels more at home now. It's weird. It's almost like they're swimming. So yeah, I mean, we're on a boat. We're near the water. Sounds about right, right?
Sounds about right. Burton, how are we doing?
Everyone kind of, as they're watching, they're kind of pale, their freckles are really standing out, and all of a sudden they just like kind of double over and start coughing. And he can't seem to stop. And then like I imagine there's some people kind of coming over like, what's going on? And he just retches seawater on the deck. Oh, heck. I'm sorry about that.
That same old lady's just sort of patting you on the back. Oh, I saw you around the bonfire. It's okay. We all have those days.
It's never happened before. That.
Well, it's the roiling ocean, I bet. You'll be right when we get to land.
I hope. Ooh, is this what seasickness feels like?
Oh, no. You'll be puking green when that happens.
Lovely. All right.
Boris is gonna walk up to Burton and go, Did you drink seawater?
Not that I remember.
Cool. When we get back to land, when we are back at land, Sir Mordarin, get your ass over here.
I think I'm already walking over and I'm saying something like, I'm no doctor, but I don't know if throwing up seawater is entirely normal. Maybe drink regular water?
Oh, eat something
Yeah.
really dry. It'll help absorb it.
That's excellent suggestions. When we get back, Sir Mordarin has to get some medicine, and he tends to fight me. So we're gonna all go off on our own for a few minutes, just in a place where you two can hold him down, and I'll give him medicine. It's very common, isn't that right? I think Forrest would have like this is like the keyword for like you to know that she's like, no, I need to separate you from this crowd and we need to brief on safety stuff.
I reckon I could sit on his chest.
Yeah. Right, Sir
I mean-
Morden?
I think like you can just like you can pull like he'll like say that but you can like just pull him along and he will not resist.
I know, but this is just like her way of being like, you agree to it so that if she has to take anyone else who's in your party with it, she doesn't have to announce like, we have to leave.
You know, it's one of the deckhands. They seem really strong.
Nope. I don't want to involve strangers, and we already know you, so this is all
but
good.
we met them all last night at the festival. Remember when?
I think she's. Is it hard to breathe? I think she.
Here goes.
She's talking about the adventurous bond that we all have.
Yes.
But this is our first adventure.
I think we're trying to protect his
I will
pride.
pay you, Andre. Be quiet.
Oh, okay then.
Okay.
Magic. Everyone who isn't one of you is like assisting with turning the boat around, taking everything back up to start heading back to shore. Someone is helpfully giving Burton a flask. You know, drink up, make you feel better.
Take a whiff of it.
Something intensely alcoholic.
Does it seem like clear or colored?
Clear.
We'll kind of wince and hand it back, and then pull out their own flask. Thank you kindly.
Fair. Well prepared. Very impressive. Well,
Yeah.
On you hang then.
Appreciate you. And yeah, we'll tip it back. It just keeps tugging at their collar and just looks really uncomfortable.
Yeah. As you're sitting with the discomfort and Forrest is trying to herd the group together, despite Andre being so incredibly helpful, anyone who still has an eye on the ocean would notice that it is very much less calm. The term to use would be roiling, I believe. Sky remains clear. There's no freak thunderstorm. It is the ocean itself that is weirdly moving against its own current. At one point, one of you, probably not Burton. Burton's miserable. I don't know how perceptive Sir Mordarin is, but anyone looking out over the side of the boat would notice a whirlpool forming right around the place where the effigy was just tipped into the water. Your boat is listing. It looks like it's about to be smashed against rocks that are nearby. I mentioned those small islands earlier. Now that water is somewhat retreating from those islands to be sucked into the whirlpool, more of those rocks have become visible. Many of the other boats are already either flung away down into the whirlpool. You don't see all of them. And I think with a rather, oh god, I can't believe I'm saying this, sinking sensation, I think you realize that this boat's going to go down. You can try and get off the ship and get to some of the rocks. You can try to ride it out on the boat. Tell me how
Are there lifeboats?
You can get in a lifeboat. I mean, it'll probably get sucked down into the whirlpool as well. But you can get in a lifeboat, absolutely.
Oh.
I'm gonna try something, and I don't know if it'll work.
Please.
Forrest is going to back all four of us as far into a corner as she can. And as we go down, she's going to cast a water wall around just the four of us, because I don't know how big a wall I can make, so that we can maybe, when we get pulled down, it might create less traction so we can get off of the boat as it goes down.
Nice. So that is the one ritual you took at character creation, correct? Yeah.
Yes.
Would it help to add my thing circle to it? Because it says a creature, but I don't know if it could be extended to creatures within a ring of salt cannot inflict or suffer harm. I assume suffer harm usually means like getting stabbed, but could it also mean
being dashed on the rocks, basically?
Yeah. Okay, so you can't really do a salt circle within this water wall.
It is. I mean, I'll help you on this. It is seawater that does contain salt.
Okay.
Do we know it's a creature, or is it just a whirlpool at this point?
Currently,
I think around
just
us.
a whirlpool. I mean, I am very excited to let you two try and cast magic together.
As we're being herded, can I try and grab like a length of rope? Because I assume like what are the people who work this boat doing?
Has rope.
All of them. There's so much rope. The people on this boat, some of them are already overboard. The captain is trying to straighten the stern into, away from the center of the whirlpool, just like get out of the vortex at least. Some people have fallen to their knees and are praying to the Tide Queen because it's very noticeable that there is a whirlpool after tipping the effigy. You can hear someone pleading, I gave you my firstborn, I'll give you the secondborn, just let me out alive.
I will say that Andre seems like their balance is oddly undisturbed, almost like they're flowing with the water, even though they're still on the boat.
Can I roll to see if Forrest notices that? Because she would be paying. Because I have vigilance, and I'm paying attention to everything.
I mean, are you actively hiding it, Andre? Because there are some other things you're actively hiding. Is your new balance one of them?
At this point, the balance, no, because everyone's in danger.
I mean, I think you wouldn't have to roll to notice that while people are sliding from side to side despite having lived on boats their entire life, Andre is walking rather smoothly. Very light on his feet.
Forrest is gonna note that, but she's also like doing the slip knot tie. Because, hey, fun fact, I used to be an EMT and I actually have wilderness water rescue licensing. I'm doing the slip knot tie that allows you to secure someone without it ever risking them choking. And she's doing one to Sir Morton, and she asked Burton, she's like, do you want in on this?
They start to answer, and then just again double over and retch up water again. They're like,
and she just starts tying it onto Burton, and and she looks at Andre and she's like, you don't look like you need help, but if you would like me to help you, just ask.
I mean, if y'all are doing it, may as well, right?
All right, she ties it to them, and basically it's the three, it's her and Burton in front and Andre and Sir Mordarin in back. Unless, Andre, are you the type of artist that works with really heavy clay and you actually are relatively strong?
No, they're more the type to chisel and hammer, or
Okay. She's putting the two people that are the strongest in front, and so that there's balancing to it, so that you don't get completely, you have one person trying to drag three people.
So, the tying perfectly fine. You don't have to roll for that. But the ritual, when you start casting wall,
I'm only casting that once the ship starts to go completely down.
Oh yeah, it's broken in half at this point.
Okay. Yes.
What could possibly go wrong? Should I might as well cast my ritual as well.
I was about to say,
if you're
magic it together.
If you'll allow me to, yeah.
Yes. Well, I'll ask both of you for a risk roll.
Okay.
And since I would say you are risking mind or body to attempt a task,
yeah.
You both have to take at least one dark die.
Okay. So you just roll one dark die and one die to see if you succeed.
You get one light die and one dark die. Unless you want to Devil's Bargain with me or one of your fellow players, in which case you can get an additional light die.
Can I argue that I'm using both protection, because that's the reason I'm casting it, is to protect people, and vigilance, because I was waiting for the moment that would be best to cast it?
I will say you can absolutely argue that, and then I'm going to do the rules lawyer thing and point out that no matter how many skills apply, you only get one skill die.
Oh, sorry, I was reading the thing. For your
it's a risk roll.
if you're using one of your features. What are features?
The ritual is the feature you're using, and then you get a die
Oh.
because you have applicable skills.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought features were skills because there was
No.
nothing listed as feature.
That is
Okay.
the downside of the rules reference as written.
Okay.
If
I'm
you want
so
to make
sorry.
bookmarks
I was
in the actual PDF, it's on page 22 of the PDF.
Yeah, no. I pulled open the quick one and
Perfectly fine. I understand it. But you
To
get
try
one
and
light
help.
die if you have one or more skills that apply.
Okay, and
So 2 die.
I've rolled 4 on the light die and 2 on the dark die.
Okay.
I don't know if that's good.
Isn't that the best part about this system? I mean,
I rolled-
honestly, Kai's doing pretty good with a 4 on the light.
I rolled a 3 on the light and a 1 on the dark.
Okay. So that's not great. I mean, I'm happy, but you're probably not going to be. I will tell you, regardless of which die at that point has which number, if your highest is a 3, that is a fail. Just you have failed and something goes horribly wrong. Fortunately, you have Sir Mordarin, who succeeded but with a complication. So at least part of the magic works at this point. Actually, considering the fact that Kai succeeded, why don't you describe what happens? How does Forest make it worse? And how do you, despite not managing all the way, how do you turn it from an absolute TPK disaster into at least the 4 of you make it to the rocks? Albeit maybe not entirely in one piece.
Yeah. Okay, what I think happens is the water wall technically does work, but it starts going back in on us, so it's we're in a bubble of just water, so then we what's the point? We'd all just drown. But I think because it's all salt water, I think how this is just flavor, but I think because the circle is more like a sphere, it ends up looking I don't know, are you all familiar with the image of a biblically accurate angel? I think it ends up looking like that. And then we end up just getting onto the rocks. I think it hurts a lot when you're in the beach and you're getting absolutely knocked over by the waves. But we're on the rocks, we're soaking wet. There's I can at least Sir Mordarin can barely open their eyes because there's salt in them and just blinking it out, but we're all there. We're all super sore. There's salt in our eyes.
Very good. You made it to the rocks. You notice once you do manage to get your eyes open, despite the salt, the sand, the wood splinters, the bruising. Some of you are like, I don't know if that rib is broken or just something horribly bruised or pulled. But you're on it's barely worth the term island. You're on a piece of rock. Baker, as a player, you're familiar with this. I stranded Astrid on something similar at one point.
We can't drink bird's blood.
No, she tried. We Googled it. You find some bits of rocky slopes. There's some coins, some shatters of ornate pottery, waterlogged books.
Is there any wreckage wood?
There is a shattered rowboat nearby. If that's something you're... Sorry, a lifeboat. At this point, you would also notice a storm gathering over the island. It was a little late.
Is it whirlpool? Is there still a whirlpool, or is it gone?
Oh, it's still there. Andre, were you going to the rowboat?
I just want to collect some of the pieces of wood, something that looks thick enough for me to, carve with.
There is absolutely wood thick enough to carve with. It's rowboaty wood. There's also a satchel there if you're interested.
Ooh, yes, most definitely.
Are you sharing with the class, or should I just DM this to you?
DM first.
You are cold. You are miserable. You are in pain.
Burton shrugs off the greatcoat because it's just soaking wet and weighs a ton. They are still just constantly coughing.
I think we're all
looking-
coughing.
Yeah. Looking around, like, how did any of the boats make it out?
You see
is
some
this
boats
town just-
on the way back towards shore. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Maybe a rescue
So-
party's gonna be coming, but we gotta, points to the horizon, we got a storm to weather first.
I don't think. I think we're the sacrifice.
No.
Yeah.
You'd be right.
I think whoever dies while delivering the effigy is the sacrifice.
Well, we ain't dead yet, so
No, we're not. And let's try and keep it that way.
Wasn't the effigy already pushed overboard?
Yes, but I think the effigy is just the signal. Would be my guess.
Tide Queen seems to
Also-
be hungry.
Burton, why are you coughing up? Why were you coughing up seawater?
Hell if I and get that out and they cough up more seawater.
Did you fall into the ocean this time?
Heck, I hate this. I feel
Did
like my
anyone
water.
see the effigy look weird?
I thought it looked normal.
Always looked weird. Just a little weirder this time.
Burton's
What did
gonna
it
like
look like?
lower their voice and lean in. It kind of looked like. It didn't kind of look like. It looked exactly like my mama.
It was definitely more humanoid than yesterday.
Was.
She was moving and screaming and
I think I'm gonna
We
try
got-
and I'm gonna carve out what I saw. You know, it was
we got to find shelter. There's a storm coming.
I don't know.
Hmm.
Do you think we can hop onto a lifeboat and try to weather it on land, or do you think we should take our chances on the rocks?
Looking around, is this just the set? Is there any sort of shelter we think we could find? Heck, I don't even know the tides. Even if we find a cave, they might fill up.
Can we see like anything on the horizon, or is it just all storm?
At this point, it's all storm. The boats that did make it away from the whirlpool are not in great shape. As far as a boat can limp, they are limping back to the harbor. I think most of you know enough about nature to notice the fact that the fog that is rolling in makes no sense. Why would there be a fog bank that is rolling over this island while there is also a storm? It makes you feel even colder, and it is muffling sound around you, where you heard rushing water and some birds. It goes incredibly quiet.
Why don't Sir Mordain and why don't you two go look for some water? I'm gonna discuss with Andre what he saw.
Is there enough room to is there enough room to walk around? Because I thought it was a little bit smaller than that.
Yeah, like
You can.
how
There is some room to walk around. Yeah.
Okay.
like,
Yeah,
is there
uh,
any access to inland kind of thing, or is it just like us in the cave
It's
and
just an island.
It's
There
like
isn't even really a cave. There's more like a slopey bit that you can huddle at
like
the
is it
base
is like
of.
is this island like we can see the other end from where we are, or is like
You can see one of the other ends. There's probably a bit more behind some of the slopes, but it's not great.
no
Forest
trees on
is-
it, I assume.
Forrest
Oh,
is
no.
gonna untie the rope
The book lovingly calls this a great barren rock inhabited only by cackling seabirds.
Forrest is gonna untie all of the rope and then tie it together in a really long line and just be like, take one end of the rope and pull if anything goes wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guess Burton and I will go scrounge.
Can you help me? Maybe we can drag that rowboat and put it on that side so we have a little bit of shelter.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, we should go do that.
Come on. Christ.
And Forrest is gonna look to Andre and go, so what type of deal did you make? Because last time I checked, humans don't grow barnacles. And your footing was far too sure for choppy water.
I mean, everybody needs help with their life. And as
I'm
an
not
artist,
judging.
sometimes you just need inspiration.
That's completely valid, and your choices are your choices, and I fully support whatever you had to do or what you felt you had to do, but I need to know so that I can get the rest of us out of here.
I mean, that's pretty much exactly as I said. Need help with sorting out my debts and figuring out my new muse.
Did you find out what you were gonna owe at the end of that?
I mean,
Or who you were talking to?
no, I mean, it's just an effigy.
It wasn't just an effigy,
I
sweet
mean,
summer child.
I may have felt something that felt like bone inside, but there's no actual talking. It's just my own thoughts running wild.
What did your thoughts say?
That it'd be pretty cool to make the Tide Queen my new muse. No.
How would you see the Tide Queen?
I haven't. I'll know it when I see it, I guess. I mean, no else I've seen is the effigy, so if I do something with it now, I won't lose it from my mind.
Alright, anything else I should know? I'm not judging. I'm not going to use it against you. I want to try and get us all out of here in one piece. Preferably with sound mind. I feel like that's how we win this game.
I mean, I'm just trying to get out of the situation like everyone else, but
Okay.
I mean, maybe we should focus on gathering supplies since we're surrounded by nothing but wrecked boats on an apparently giant piece of rock, but
Anything else that you want to tell me? You got barnacles growing on you, you got surefootness. Like, are you feeling a call to go into this sea?
no, I mean, I had plenty of chances to dive right in.
Okay. Well, you let me know if that changes.
Right, I mean, what about you though? I mean, how did you conjure up that water?
Oh, I have magic. I have a ritual that I do.
And what did that cost you?
Part of my soul, but my soul's already in pieces, so not that much to give up. I'm not growing barnacles though.
Mm-hmm. No, maybe we should all just worry about ourselves a bit. How's that?
Or you let me know if the Tide Queen has a conversation with you, because maybe she can get us out of this.
How about this? I won't do anything to actively hurt the group. And if
That
something gives me the urge to, I will definitely tell you.
I would also like to help you. I'm not looking to abandon you. Unless you want to be abandoned. That's all I want to know, is if at any point you want us to just abandon you to the sea, I will let you go.
I don't think that's part of our quest. I mean, we still got to make it back to land, right?
Yep. I also don't think we're getting the gold off the effigy, so at this point, bad intentions.
It's quite possible that this is where all the gold fell.
It is quite possible, but that whirlpool and the fact that we might starve to death, other than like the hard tack bread that I have. Did I lose my pack when we went over?
Yep.
Okay. Because I don't even have my road rations anymore. I don't think we have any food.
If worse comes to worse, I heard that seaweed is edible and we could scavenge it from me.
You have seaweed? Okay. Do the barnacles hurt?
You just kind of
Aren't
like
barnacles-
slowly roll up my sleeves, and you'll see some barnacles and some seaweed start to.
This is a baker question. Aren't barnacles like actual living creatures that like hook
Mhm.
on to things?
They tend to like live on the rocks. They hooked on, like they look like circular. And they've got like
They're arthropods, if that's what you're
Mhm.
asking.
Yeah.
They're really weird crustaceans.
Are they
too small
hurting?
for us to consume, I believe.
Yes, but are they hurting you? Do you need help getting them off?
And I don't. Would I be feeling pain from this, GM?
As long as nobody is pulling on them or touching them. But so we're gonna get into a little bit of barnacle biology here. The outside of the barnacle, like the crusty part, is just hard. What's it called? Like a calcium type deposit. And then on the inside is what they call the foot or the muscle stalk. The muscle stalk is what is growing into your flesh. So if you pull on them, you have muscle stalks pulling on your flesh with it.
Okay, because I've only seen them like when they clean them off of like lobsters so they live longer.
Yes, because lobsters tend to have squishy bits, but also hard shell. Like if you rip barnacles off of ships and shells, that is fine.
Okay.
If it's already growing into something, that can cause a problem for the thing it is growing into.
Two.
They're
They
like
don't
roots.
like necessarily growing into flesh, but this is weird magic shit.
Got it. I just wanted to make sure that like if we could help Andre, like if he was actively being killed by them, if we should try and help him.
It might become a problem if they keep spreading because, again, educational. If you go to YouTube and look how barnacles hook onto things, it is nightmare fuel. But they
Yes.
have cool hooks in their peduncles, so it's gonna keep like clambering up towards meatier bits of Andre. At some point, it's going to become a problem.
Okay. Forrest is going to be like, I can give you my vest and we can try and circle the skin around where they're growing to try and make it so they can't go further up your chest or to like towards your heart and lungs.
I mean, I feel like as long as I keep it kind of wet, it's fine. I can still use it.
Yeah, I know, but okay, well, if they do start growing in that direction, that is an option. We can tie some leather in between you and your skin.
As long as it doesn't grow into my hand so I can't use them, it should be fine.
Okay. Well, I also willing to do leather strips around your arms. Because
I mean, we should probably save it for now because we don't have many supplies and it's not really an issue at the moment.
yes, I'm saying if it does become an issue, and I will not tell Sir Mordain and Burton if you would like me not to.
Mm,
I personally think we should, but that's your cross to bear, and it's your secret. I will only tell them if it becomes an active issue for the entire group.
I mean, honestly, it's just kind of unsightly.
Well, you're pretty handsome otherwise in general, so you should be fine.
Yes, that's what I'm always told.
Yes, she for once the mother was not lying. So congratulations.
All right, we're gonna leave Andre and Forrest to their semi-awkward moment as oddly timed compliments are happening. Other than the barnacles, yeah, it's all good. Sir Mordarin and Burton, what are we up to?
I think we are attempting to get that rowboat and wrestle it over against kind of the cliff so we can have a semi-enclosed area. Maybe use some rope or something to try to secure it, depending upon how craggy the rocks are, if there's a way to try and
If
do
we find
that.
anything, yeah. If we find anything else that like helps stabilize it or like just makes our encampment better, we'll add that to it.
I think you need the rope to put pieces of the rowboat together because it is somewhat shattered. So you're tying pieces of wood together, sort of like weaving. It's at the end, it's more of like a woven rope with bits of wood as shelter rather than a tipped over rowboat. As soon as you start picking it up, you have like a section of the boat in your hands, and the rest of the boat is still on the ground. So, but with the pieces of rowboat and a rope, you can make sort of a lean-to.
Yeah. And
that works.
Yeah, try and just get as dry and sheltered a place as we can. And then Burton is just going to kind of stand and just scan the shore. We've seen boats heading back. We've seen, we know that some people prayed, some people jumped in boats. Do we see any corpses in the water coming to shore? Just do a scan for,
or any living people. Let's be positive.
Brightly optimistic. I love it. There are no living people. You also don't see any bobbing corpses. So at least there's that, I guess.
all right.
We don't have to play out the conversation, but Forrest would tell Burton and Sir Mordarin if they notice anything weird in general to like let her know.
Yeah, I think we're also just like, in addition to like parts that we can scrounge that would like be good for survival.
Yeah.
Survivors, maybe, but probably not. We're also looking for weird things.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Looking for weird things. I love that description.
I assume all the water is like too wet for us, or all the water is wet. Yes, all the wood is too wet to even like attempt a fire or anything.
Both the water and the wood are wet. Yes. As are your clothes. Everything.
Yeah.
Everything's damp. That fog is making everything very quiet. It's limiting visibility. It's also making everything that was sogging wet that might be attempting to dry just becomes clammy and really cold and honestly just gross. Looking around, you don't see anything that you wouldn't expect on a weird barren island. I don't know how much experience your characters have with weird barren islands. What you would pick up on is that in that dead silence, you would expect, like, the first thing to come back sound-wise, you would want to be cackling seabirds. Instead, what you hear is this strange, echoing kind of sea shanty. There's like the slowed down version of what they were singing on the boat. And rather than being rousing and spring and fabulous, this feels like it's full of tragedy and dire warnings, like a dirge.
Do we know where it's coming from, or is it just like, uh-oh, we're in danger?
Omnipresent. You know when the
Uh,
boss music starts playing above you?
mhm.
All right. Who put something bad in the effigy and is still just coughing and tugging at their collar?
I mean, don't look at me. It's not like I put in something bad. I barely know this ritual. I'm just here to participate. Where I was.
How fast does that storm seem to be approaching?
Very slowly.
All right.
It should be approaching slower. No, sorry, wrong way around. It should be approaching faster considering the turmoil still on the sea.
Mhm.
Instead, it seems to be almost holding.
Let's just try and get let's get everything we can before that storm hits, because we might have to hunker down a while.
Yeah, I'm comfortable question, but we probably should like stay together for warmth. There's not gonna be a fire.
Please don't take your clothes off. No offense.
No, it's cold. I'm keeping them on.
Or just better to take wet clothes off, honestly, because that's how you get pneumonia or something.
No, I'm aware. I'd rather get the pneumonia than. I'm gonna go scrounge.
It's not even that there was only one bed trope. There's just no beds at all.
Yeah.
All right. If there's nothing else you are like obsessively looking for,
I'm looking for a piece of rock that I can use to start carving. So if I can find like a small little sharpened rock or something, I could maybe try and break in half to make a sharp edge.
Yeah.
you can start. You can go full caveman and start breaking rocks apart to get a sharper rock to start carving with.
I will also look for something to use as a weapon. Not that, whatever's gonna go on. I don't think a knife is gonna be enough, but it's nice to have. Or just like a
Makes you
sharpened rock as
feel
well.
better to hold one.
Yeah. Something weapon-like.
None of you. Okay. Oh, that might not be true. Most of you aren't complete idiots. So at some point when Andre starts breaking rocks apart to start carving things, you would be able to tell that to do that, he set down a sack that he didn't have with him when he crashed on the rocks with you.
I have two questions. Can Forrest use her speed to grab the sack before Andre notices? And two, Forrest would have had multiple like knives strapped to her, hidden, because she is a bodyguard. Did at least one of them make it?
I think at least one of them made it, as evidenced by the fact that it partly stabbed you as you were dashed upon a rock.
Okay.
Cool. There's a secret knife being not so secret because there's blood spreading around it, but slowly it's superficial.
Okay.
Can you get to the sack faster than Andre? Sounds like a contested roll to me. If I ever heard one.
Yes.
As they
Unless
roll,
Andre is happy to let you, or if Wild is happy to let you. But I think it sounds like a contested roll.
So what do we do for contested?
You get a light dice if you have a suitable skill for this.
Speed and vigilance.
Okay, so light dice, I'll give you for speed.
I got trickery.
Sorry, Andre?
Trickery?
Yeah, that sounds good. Bastard. A light die for each current ruin point you have.
Oh, Jesus.
Such a smile.
Look, I have his character sheet. I know why he's smiling. It's fine. He's just a little guy.
Yeah, no.
And then my favorite part of this, as many dark dice as you are willing to risk. bad things happen if the dark die is your highest die, is why it's listed that way.
I will take 1 dark die.
You will take an extra dark die?
I'm thinking I might just go all light die. I don't have to pick a, or do I automatically get 1 dark die, or how's it?
You have to get a dark die depending on no, is it? You have to pick a dark die if the content is inherently dangerous, but I don't think Forrest is like coming at you with the knife. I think we can forego the blood offering.
Is this a potentially violent encounter for us?
No. Forrest would not be pulling the knife.
Okay.
She just wants to have the bag in hand.
Just the bag. Yeah. In that case, you don't have to take a dark die because then we're not fighting to the death.
Okay. She just wants to have the bag in hand to ask Andre what it is.
Fair enough. All right, you may roll your dice and tell me what your results are.
I got a 6.
Oh, damn. I got a 6 and a 6 and a 5.
You both have 1 6?
Yeah.
How many 5s?
I have 1 5 and then a 3 and a 2, and my lowest dice is my dark dice, the red one.
No,
I thought it was fitting.
2 4s and a 3.
No, it goes from most 6s to most 5s. So Baker, describe how Forrest snatches that bag.
I think she just very casually kind of looks like she's walking over to Sir Mordarin to like Burton or someone who's ever nearest to it, and then just picks it up and takes a few steps out of range and goes, Andre, what's this?
A bag.
What's in the bag?
Supplies.
Cool. Since we're all trying to stay alive, maybe something we should have shared with the group?
Man, isn't that what we're doing? Scrounging?
Okay.
Or are you scrounging from us? Is that what's going on? Are you scrounging from us? Are you saying that you have to be in control of all the supplies?
No.
Have you designated yourself the leader of this group and only you can make the decisions?
No.
Can I just ask why you're trying to start a fight?
That's a great question.
Yeah, why are you taking my stuff and starting a fight?
That's where we'll go to break. That sounds like a good little Cliffy. Let's figure out who's starting a fight and why when we come back from grabbing something to drink, petting our pets, light stretching. And if you're in chat, don't forget that we have opened a giveaway for Baker's Pride Cross Stitch. If you want to enter to win this adorable little cross stitch that is super gay, please type #TideQueen in the chat. Eva suggested effigy, then we decided no one knew how to spell effigy, so we're sticking with #TideQueen if you want a fabulous little cross stitch to hang on your wall. We'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes, realistically 15, and we'll find out what's in the bag. Maybe.
What's in the bag?
What's in the bag? Bye, everybody. Hello, and welcome back to Trophy Dark Gift of the Sea, where our intrepid non-heroes are stranded on a rocky little island after apparently the gifting of things to the Tide Queen didn't quite go as planned, but with some magical intervention, some more successful than others, they managed to save their lives, and they're now a little bit stranded. Before we go back into the game, Baker has a little example of the gay cross stitch that you can win by entering Tide Queen in chat right now. You can either win this very one, or if you're the lucky winner, you can message Baker and go like, "Hey, psst, I'd like a different gay flag," and Baker will start cross stitching right away. Thank you, Baker. Which reminds me, I should enter this because you're already sending me shit anyway, and it's adorable.
Your shit already got sent.
Well, you have to send me shit again if I win. Haha!
Okay.
Reminder, it is #TideQueen in the chat because we assume no one can spell effigy. And we left our group in a somewhat tense situation. I briefly changed the music to something cuter because I was doing like gay cat cross-stitch commercials, but we are going back into the action. Sir Mordarin and Burton are above water, basket weaving a rowboat into a shelter. Andre is going full caveman, smashing rocks to get a sharp rock so he can whittle some flotsam, jetsam. Oh god, I forgot which one was which.
You really did both.
And while he's doing that, Forrest strode up, grabbed a bag Andre had been hiding, and concluded just before the break with the question, "What's in the bag?"
I didn't shout it like that. I said, "Hey, Andre, what's in the bag?"
Dramatic reenactment by your keeper.
The more fun version.
Thank you.
I'm not starting a fight with you, Andre. I simply had already asked you if you had anything else to share with the group, or if you were hiding anything else. And
I wasn't hiding it. It's just a bag with supplies. I mean, are we not scrounging? Does this not seem the right time to eat? Or reaches to the bag, pulls out fishing hooks. This doesn't seem like the time to go fishing either.
I mean, it's a good time to go fishing before the storm hits.
yeah.
What? But there's more stuff to. I was just looking at the wreckage stuff. I thought we were focusing on the wreckage, like we were saying, scrounging.
Well,
I mean,
since we need
is
to know what...
does that not mean keep picking up supplies? And then you
Yes.
come all aggressive towards me, acting like I'm hiding when I'm doing exactly what you asked us to do?
No. We need to share with everyone in order for all of us to survive.
Right. And
So-
we're still scrounging. So, I mean, if we want to take time right now to have a discussion about everything we found, we can. But I thought this was critical time.
I do think he has a point. Can we just see what we got, what we're working with, and go from there? I don't know that this is going to get us anywhere right now.
Sure.
In the bag is
Now I'm
there's
doing it.
in the bag there's rope, fishing hooks, bottle of wine, dried fish, cheese, and
You're muted.
And-
You're muted.
yeah, it's a small bottle of wine, and y'all got the rest, right? Cheese, and the
Dried fish,
yeah,
hooks, rope.
yeah, that's it.
All right.
So
Okay.
basic supplies.
I mean, if we find food, we should tell everyone what's there, right?
Yes.
So we know what we're surviving with.
Yes. Here's my question. Would it be a good idea to take, like, less than a quarter of the fish and try and go fishing with it as bait?
I
It's
don't
also-
know
Dried
if
fish.
There's also diving fins in there.
I don't think we should go diving, and I don't think fish can be bait for other fish.
Oh,
I mean, maybe the edible fish shouldn't be bait for other fish at this point when we don't know what we can or can't.
is it
eat.
like fresh fish or is it like salted?
It's dried fish.
Dried.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
it's rations ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fish in my pocket.
Other
Did
fish
either of my
do
flasks make it?
absolutely eat other fish. In fact, minnows will eat dead minnows. Fish are actually very terrible people.
Good thing they're not people. What did you have in your pocket, sorry?
Did either of my flasks make it?
I'd say one of your flasks made it. You can pick which one.
Okay, I know which one. And then, like, Burton is very much like salt of the earth. Sure, I had flint, steel. That didn't make it, did it?
No.
No. Okay.
Would I leave you with useful supplies in
I
a
just
game
gotta
of Trophy
ask.
Dark?
So
Would I
Here-
do such a thing?
Here's a question for you. I have both alchemy and invention.
Yes.
Is there any way with those skills, like what can I find that I can cobble together to improve the situation, right? Be it figure out how to build a fire, be it figure out how to make this shelter a little less terrible.
Question. Alchemy's a fun one.
And I do got some moonshine.
You do have moonshine. And there's a lot of you don't hear them actively right now because of that fog bank.
Mm-hmm.
But there were a lot of birds in this island.
Mm-hmm. I also have traps, so I could set a trap to try to trap a...
You can either try and trap a live bird for some food, or if you can get enough not entirely wet bird poop, that is actually a decent fire starter, I'm not gonna lie. Along with certain other things, you don't have the other things, but eventually you could make dynamite with it. But for now, you would probably just want it as a fire starter.
Yeah, I think between that and the this very like 120 proof moonshine, I'm gonna just try to scrape some bird poop, try to find some of the less wet wood, and get to work trying to figure out how to light that.
You're looking for... We're going to go back to biology. You're looking for the type of bird poop that has already started to turn white, because it's actually the mold in the bird poop that is the fire starter. So you don't want the fresh stuff, you want the moldy stuff.
Yeah, I'm going like up as high as I can on the rocks.
Yeah. You can scrape some off the rocks. Fortunately, mold doesn't mind damp circumstances. Ask my bathroom.
Question is Forrest keeping the bag from me, or are they gonna give it back?
Forrest will have taken out the dried fish. Like, she would make like a little like rock area that has the dried fish, and she'll take the fish hooks to go fishing, and then she'll give you the bottle of wine and the bag back.
So you're taking the rope, the cheese, and everything else?
I'm taking the food out so that we know where it is.
She's putting the food in a supply pile and giving you back everything else.
Yeah, okay. Except for the fish hooks, because I'm going to go fishing.
It's a very Survivor kind of move.
I'm giving you the wine back because it's not necessary for survival.
I know people who would argue that.
I do too.
We can use it to sterilize wounds.
The wine does not have enough alcohol in it to sterilize a wound.
Oh.
It will actually only cause because of the yeast in it. Not anyway. That's a whole thing. We'd be better off with the moonshine.
Whatever era we're in, we have germ theory down.
Yes. But basically, I'm gonna take the stuff to go fishing and give you everything, and put the food like in a space where we all have access to it, and give you everything back.
The wine. So it's the wine. I get the wine, the bag, and the diving pins.
Yeah. Yeah. And if there are multiple fish hooks, she'll just take enough to go fishing with, and be like, if this one breaks, do you mind if I come back and get another one from you?
All we had to do was ask.
All right, perfect.
Perfect. Burton is gathering bird excrement. Forrest and Andre had their little moment, and Forrest is going to go fishing. Sir Mordarin, what are we up to?
So we have like kind of a base built, which is just like the remnants of the boat. I think I'm just gonna stay put, keep things together, just like make it a home for us for the next 12 hours, and just like make sure it doesn't like fall apart.
Yeah, you see one part that keeps sort of dipping. And you're like, okay, if I sit here and put my shoulder here,
yeah,
it's perfect. It's perfectly stable. I don't know why you're looking at me like that. This is comfortable. Beautiful.
And while I'm
unless
out
you've-
gathering, I'm definitely
Yep.
still scanning for survivors and or corpses.
Survivors and or corpses. Ooh. Do you have any skills that are like observation, vigilance? Not
I'm,
you, Baker. I'm talking to Burton. You're
Oh.
fishing.
Sorry, my sound cut out a little bit, and then all I heard was, "Are you like paying attention?" I'm like,
Yeah,
like,
no, Burton's off wandering, perfectly alone, not in any danger whatsoever.
sorry, sorry.
No, I do have I don't
You
know
and your
how this is a
moustache,
skill.
what do you have?
I do have corruption as a skill, so if that's going to give me anything about what's happening here, and I just DM'd you something else, but I don't think that's going to. No, I've got alchemy, invention, and traps.
Perfect. Roll a skill check, and I'll give you corruption.
Okay. So that's one light, one dark.
Yep.
I'm not trying to do anything yet, but I just want to know.
Well, you know, things
Yeah.
are happening nearby, and we're trying to see how in tuned you are. Like you're splitting focus between bird poop and bat stuff.
Yes. So that's a 5 on the light, and my dark dice is as 2, which is under my corruption.
Okay. I would say with a 5. As you're looking out over the water, you're looking for either alive or dead bodies. But your focus is drawn more towards the water itself and the wave pattern. In addition to that weird whirlpool, right outside of the whirlpool where you would expect to be like there'd be crazy waves, it just cuts off and it's just very placid, calm water. And it's very clear water. And even though you know it's the ocean and it should be pretty deep, even with the runoff from the rocks on this island you have, you see almost like a flooded field with crops waving underwater.
Burton, grabs what they can and then scrambles back towards everyone. It's like, there's something weird about that whirlpool.
I think we should just stay here in our little hovel and just try to wait it out. How long does a whirlpool last anyway?
Oh, now that's a good question.
It's a little sad you don't have teeth, right? Your sailor best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think, and I'm filling in a little bit for your character here, that Sir Mordarin would have done at least the tiniest bit of reading on the ocean to be able to keep up with your I fought everything with fins.
Yes, yeah.
So even with the whirlpool being really weird, like I just described to Burton, everything around the whirlpool sort of cuts out and goes to really placid ocean. If this is what the island is now, you know, you heard enough sailors talk that you were tipping the effigy over the side of the boat with high tide. Maybe with low tide, things will settle down more. Maybe your island will be bigger. Maybe some of the boats will come to return.
Okay,
However,
so we are definitely in
in-
high tide right now, right?
It is absolutely high tide right now. Low tide. I'm not going to go into a geography lesson on the different types of high and low tide, but the lowest low tide will be tomorrow.
Okay.
Water isn't going to start receding until in the night. And then tomorrow morning, you'll hit low tide.
Do we have a general idea of when that fog bank will hit us?
It's already here. It's sort of in and out.
So we're already in the fog right now.
Yes. It is also for you weirdly quiet. You haven't heard birds since the fog hit. And every once in a while, you hear that weird sea shanty that no one has deigned to what's the word? No one's mentioned it actively.
I feel like mentioning the sea shanty is kind of like higher on the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Like we still have to figure out how to like have food, then we have to be safe, and then we have to like have each other, and then the sea shanty. That's like the
Yeah.
fourth part of the
Stay
pyramid.
alive, have existential crisis.
Yeah, yeah.
Fair.
I feel
Has
like
Mordarin... Oh, go ahead.
no, Andre is probably just like humming it under his breath, just because it's it's a repetitive kind of background noise.
Kind of catchy.
Has Mordarin mentioned when the tides are hitting to us,
Um,
or is that just staying in his head?
I was about to like mention that. I did want to ask first, like we know that there's a storm coming. How like can I kind of tell when it's gonna be here, how long it's gonna be in terms of like hours, days?
So similar to Burton, looking at that storm, it just doesn't make sense. The way the wind is blowing, it should already be here. It seems to be holding over the whirlpool.
Okay. But it's like, is it like does it look like a very big storm or just like a storm that's like encapsulated in this area?
It doesn't, it seems to be from the whirlpool back out over the ocean and not
Okay.
extending towards the shore. You do
Alright.
get the feeling it's not so necessarily moving as much as it is expanding. Does that make sense? Like the clouds aren't drifting closer, they're just going wider.
Then certain Mordarin will probably say, I think we should just try to stick it out through the night, and then low tide is coming in the morning, so we'll check our chances then.
Okay. So if low tide is tomorrow, that's good because there's like fields around that whirlpool. I don't understand how, but it's like plants and wheat blowing in the wind, and so we can...
Are you thinking food or are you thinking escape?
I won't right now until we see it, but
Yeah. We should definitely get prepared to like get out there tomorrow.
yeah. It's real weird that storm should be here. So let's take advantage of take
Not
advantage
being
of all
in
we
it?
can.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there enough salvage wood for us to maybe make a raft or something? Does anyone know how to make a raft?
I
How
don't know
hard could it
about a
be?
raft, but I got... And they hold up a handful of bird poop. I think we got enough for a fire. And goes over and starts collecting little splinters of wood, trying to get the smallest stuff because those can dry out first.
The kindling, yeah.
Yeah.
Fair. I mean, it's cold, it's miserable. It's a super... I think the main problem for Burton is it is a very, very smoky little fire. So the little air you have becomes even more compromised.
Yeah. I'm not doing it under the lean-to for now.
Yeah, fair
but
enough.
Just out, so, and like putting their coat, but like everyone take off what you can, let's put it by the fire, and just... Clothes aren't going to smell good, but dry is better than not.
You say not gonna smell good. I love the smell of wood fire.
Is there any way we can help Burton? Like, there's not medicine checks or anything?
No.
Are we noticing you bleeding yet?
Oh, that's like a cut on the inside of my boot.
Okay.
No, yeah, it's inside the boot, so no. I mean, Forrest has noticed at this point.
Yes.
I think you'd still notice that Andre is walking weird, but at this point,
Walking
who isn't?
in in like sync with the waves.
Because Baker's worried that Burton's drowning on dry land and has been since the beginning. I don't know if Forrest would have put that together yet. But with the coughing up water, Maybe?
It is strange that even though Burton hasn't ingested any water recently, they're still managing to produce water. They don't look much more dehydrated than the rest of you.
But do they have like a blue tinge around their lips or anything like that?
They're not perfectly oxygenated, but it's also not the worst. They're not, God, their stats aren't under 95.
Okay. But if they go to sleep, it might be.
There's one way to find out.
Has anyone explored the other side of the island yet?
Burton's been all places that are currently accessible. But like I said, at low tide, it is possible there will be more island. Because water and magic. But mainly water.
If we seem to have scavenged everything we could, Andre's gonna take Burton's advice and put all their clothes by the fire to dry up. All their clothes. And start whittling, I guess. Just to keep their mind off of the situation they're in.
That would be the moment that Sir Mordarin and Burton realized that, hey, naked Andre is growing barnacles and kelp.
Oh, I'm not a doctor, but I think he just gestures.
You got a little something on your everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that might have happened when we fell into the ocean or something. Or not. I don't know.
I don't
Burton
think that's
starts
how
rolling.
it works.
Yeah, Burton starts rolling up their sleeves to check, like, for barnacles. Like, can they attach that quickly?
No barnacles with you.
I think that might just be a you thing, friend.
You should get that
Doesn't seem to
checked.
be hurting anything, so I guess you just have to deal with it for now.
Do you mind if I take a look? Because that's
Be my guess.
and you just see like excitement and curiosity like just hit Burton's face as they just start looking at and kind of poking, like not doing anything hard or mean, but is just like very excited and fascinated with all this. I never seen nothing like this, and I've seen a lot. This is
I hear that a lot too.
wild.
Yeah, same as with Forrest. Like just pushing on them a little, not that bad. Pulling on them like someone's. Oh, this is the worst feeling to describe. I don't know about your personal anatomy, but that feeling when you dig too deep into your navel and it feels like whatever it's connected to is unhappy. That. But then when they're pulling on the barnacles in your arms.
Is it kind of like if you have a hangnail or something and someone's like tugging on a hangnail?
Pretty much. But more visceral.
I would imagine it's a lot more like when you get a nail stuck in your arm.
No, because
that's
this
because I
feels-
totally know how
That's
that
a
feels.
story.
So.
It's it's not because a nail stuck in your arm is something foreign that is stuck in a place it shouldn't be. This is something that has been growing into Andre and intertwining, like the foot of the barnacle is happily growing into its muscles.
Is it like if you have like a popped blister, so it's like the excess skin that's still part of the
Like tugging
skin.
on a stitch.
You know, the part that's half
Tugging on a stitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. I know that feeling. I pulled out stitches before.
There you go. That roughly that feeling.
Burton like reaches for a journal that isn't there, and you just see like a sadness hit their face.
Deflates.
I'm thinking I don't much like the ocean, y'all. But that's you should see someone about that when we get to where you could see someone about that.
Fair.
Yeah, definitely on my list.
After getting off of this rock. All right, we can, if you're all good and done, we can fast forward to you at camp, because you made a camp. Sir Mordarin valiantly holding up part of your shelter. Forrest caught at least one fish. Whether or not it's edible remains to be seen. You can always, like, everything's edible once. The aftermath, TBD. Sitting around the campfire. I imagine this scene where the four of you are around your I'm sorry to say pathetic little fire. Some of you more naked than others.
My fire is as glorious as my mustache.
And that is correct. I have opinions on your mustache that are very similar to my opinion on your fire. Just sitting around this fire together, I want the four of you to think about what comforts from home you miss the most right now, and if you make it through this, and if you get this treasure trove, what are you going to be spending that money on? Like, what this little moment of introspection, what is going through your minds?
I can say for certain that Sir Mordarin certainly does not miss holding his wife. No, no, no. And like if he manages to get out of this alive, he's totally gonna flex on her. Like, wow, what are you doing? I survived this crazy expedition and maybe, hopefully, got a ton of money out of this. Aren't you upset that you like didn't stay with me? Wow.
Definitely not thinking about the ex-wife. I feel like I need to emphasize this to the audience. Ex-wife.
Ex-wife, ex.
Ex. We don't miss her. Nuh-uh.
No.
Is he waxing poetically about her around the fire?
I think a little bit. I don't think he understands what he's saying, but he's saying like, it's times like these where like I steel myself and I realize I don't miss her. I don't miss her warmth. I don't miss her touch. I don't miss waking up in bed with her. I don't like this is great. What we're doing here, it's great. I love you guys so much.
I
You're
think
sure?
Forrest is used to this. And so she is listening and going, yeah, no, you don't miss her. In the back of her mind, she's like, if I get this money, I can stop doing bodyguarding. I can leave my profession and I can start working towards getting the things I need to prove what happened. And like that's just going around in the back of her brain.
Burton's just like, there sure is a lot you don't miss about her.
I think Andre is gonna be like, and now, come to think of it, I miss my old muse. I miss her warmth. I miss her touch. But I think not necessarily her, but just the fact that she was my muse.
I think like I think Sir Mordarin is like similarly like shocked. I definitely try to like hide like what's going on. I think it's just like what? I feel like like the little gears in his head are turning, but they're also completely rusted from the seawater.
Burton has, again, kind of cowboyed up against the rock. Their coat isn't fully dry, but it's kind of draped over them, and they're just pulling off of that flask of moonshine because it keeps them nice and warm. And their mind kind of starts drifting back to home, back to the farm. And they sit there, flask in hand, thoughtfully, and kind of look over at the group and ask, hey, are any of y'all looking for anything looking to get anything particular out of this trove if we find it?
One of two things. Enough money to find a way to prove someone was lying, or a way to prove someone's lying.
Just like financial freedom, just to be the artist I know I am, without any true burdens hanging on around my neck.
I was told that the best revenge is living well, and I'm gonna live a fucking amazing life, and she'll regret not staying with me.
It was real good up until. So, I'm kind of looking for one thing in particular. And yeah, I'd like to have enough scratch to be able to send some money back to the farm, but, y'all see like we get there and y'all see like a gem. It's real big and it's shaped. They say it's shaped like a heart. I don't right know if it's like the cartoon heart or if it's like a heart, but if you see like a great big red gem, that's kind of what I'm after, and y'all should maybe not touch it. Not with your bare hands.
Why are you after it?
It's just something real pretty I'd like to show my old man.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'd really like to give that to him.
Station dwindles down. The fire continues to smoke more than it gives off warmth. But eventually, unless someone is specifically trying to stay awake, considering the day you've had, all four of you could manage to sleep.
Can I ask, are we taking watches? Like,
Are you?
I feel like there's nothing to really watch for, but also there's nothing to really watch for except one really big awful thing that might happen, in which case we probably all should wake up.
I do feel like Burton and Forrest would kind of exchange glances.
I think Forrest would offer to sleep first, and that way Burton could take the later sleeping shift when you get more tired, and she would eat whatever we're eating like real quick and then go to bed.
For the record, I'm not eating the fresh caught fish. I'm only doing the salted one.
Like Andre's gonna carve until they lose their inspiration, and then join the rest of the group.
Whenever Burton wants to wake up Forrest, she'll wake up and take over watch.
Perfect. I'm just a little distracted because I clicked something stupid on my screen. Beautiful. Right. Cold night, miserable night. Still, however, most of you manage. In turn, an okay sleep. Could all of you roll me a d6? A light die, specifically.
Actually, I don't know if that's good. You've screwed me over. I once celebrated giving Rolo like brain damage.
You're correct.
I got a 6.
Perfect.
2.
3.
I like this die. It might be loaded though.
Can Kai and Kay roll off because you both got 3s?
Okay.
That's 6.
Very nice.
That is a 2.
Perfect. Everyone roll offs because now I have 2 6s and 2 2s.
Oh.
I'm looking for unique numbers here, my darling players.
I'm back to 3.
I'm back to
3.
6.
6.
Yes, 6.
Should I roll again?
5.
Okay, we're holding the 5 and the 3. This is the playing Yahtzee. We're holding the 5 and the 3 while the 2 6s re-roll. Don't get a 5 or a 3.
Got a 3. I'm sorry.
Just keep
I
going.
got a 1. I did it.
Hey!
And
I got a 1.
I got a 1 too.
Oh wait. Okay, then that's another
Should I
1.
start asking you to roll 2d6?
I got a
think we're reaching
4.
that point.
Is 4
Oh,
okay?
4 is good.
Okay, and now I got a 1, so
Okay, so we have a 4, a 1, a 3 again. Baker, what did you end up with? A 2, right?
5.
A 5.
What
This
did
is
I
fine.
do?
This is fine.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Not at all worried.
Why? You're having a nice nap. Forrest, as you're sleeping, you have a rather strange dream. It is the effigy as you saw her as a person, as she was being thrown overboard earlier today. Only it's not just the effigy and it's not just some human that's being sacrificed. Rather than that face of anguish you saw, her face is radiant and powerful, and she is the Tide Queen herself. She is resting beneath the waves calmly. Her woven figure, it still looks made out of netting and kelp and driftwood, but she can move it. It is alive. She is spreading her arms almost like she's anticipating you to embrace her, as if she's waiting for you to come to her with her fronds of seaweed and all that tangled netting.
Do you have a map?
She does not
No?
speak to you. She merely waits.
Okay. Is this like a psychic link? Can you just implant where you are in my brain? You're very pretty, by the way. I love the look you're going for. Gorgeous.
Patient silence.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go back to my consciousness unless I'm not allowed to yet. Have
Are
a
you
lovely
accepting the
night.
embrace? Are you swimming back up?
Oh. Fuck it. I'll accept it. I have yet to poke anything. And it's driving me insane. I don't like being the responsible one.
You embrace this vision of the Tide Queen as she wraps you in seaweed and netting and driftwood and kelp and shells. And
Last second, she's gonna go, am I gonna grow barnacles? I don't really want them inside me.
she just sends you this feeling of peace and welcome.
Okay, cool. No answer on the barnacle. Got it.
Kai.
Mhm.
You're also dreaming. But rather than a beautiful vision of the Tide Queen, you're being dragged. You can't see, sound is even more muffled than it already was because of this fog band. One person has you by one arm, one person has you by another arm. There's a third person apparently who has you by your feet. And they are dragging you closer and closer to the lapping waves. At one point, they remove a bag that was apparently over your head as they're going, well, if the first sacrifice didn't work, maybe a second one will. And you see it's Andre, Burton, and Forrest as they wade into the ocean with you and begin to drown you.
Oh. I mean, I'm obviously gonna try to fight back as best I can.
Yeah, you struggle, you fight. Honestly, you can wrench away from Burton fairly easily, but Andre and Forrest have a grip on you.
Mm-hmm.
There is they're holding your head underwater. It's very reminiscent of what happened earlier today. The salt water is stinging your eyes. I think at some point you would realize it was a dream. Because why would they? Why would they betray you? Why would they try to drown you? Right? They're your friends. You're an adventuring party. If someone else needs to be sacrificed, why would they pick you? You're amazing, right? Right? They wouldn't betray you. They would not go behind your back. Forrest is your bodyguard. You can trust her. Right? Can you? And that is the last thought in your mind as you wake up.
Ooh. Who's up when... Am I the last one up?
Yeah. Early in the morning, you wake up, the three of them are awake. You know that whole bullshit when people like sit up after a nightmare? Complete bullshit. Your muscles aren't that way. But there is a gasp as you wake up, right? Because you've at least at this point, you stop feeling the water in your throat. Burton still feels water in their throat. But for Mordarin, when you wake up, at least there's air again.
Yeah, you wake up to Burton throwing up more salt water.
I'll probably just like lay back down and just like, I don't know, process it all. Because I think part of like the hardship is like, oh my gosh, I've woken up from a nightmare into another nightmare.
They're just looking at you kind of strangely. You're pretty sure that they were talking about you just before you woke up.
Oh. I'm gonna play it cool.
Forrest normally brings you breakfast, so I think she brings you breakfast.
Okay. I'll tentatively eat it. You know, what's the worst that could happen? It's poisoned. It's probably not. She's my bodyguard. He'll eat it.
It tastes, I mean, gross, but that is to be expected.
I think Burton is kind of doubled over, coughing again, spits up some water and kind of uses that to grab and look at something sitting at their feet.
Sitting at your feet, there's like a small bottle made of non-clear glass, more like the brownish kind of glass.
Burton's gonna pick it up and look it over and did one of y'all leave this here?
I don't recognize it.
I'm gonna pop the top and take a sniff.
Hey Andre, are you still feeling very inspired by the Tide Queen?
I mean, yeah, I'm just something I'm gonna carve. You know, it's something to help me keep my mind off of an obvious dire situation. I mean, you know, some people turn to drinking, I turn to art. Which reminds me, does anybody want to take a nip of the wine? You know, it might help take the edge off, I guess.
I'll take some.
How's the rocks working for carving? Are they coming out nice? This is a bigger question.
Probably crude, but gets the job done. So it's nothing like having nice sharpened metal tools. You can get nice smooth edges. You know, it's probably a little bit more jagged. Probably like just definitely more like dragging wood and scraping than actual carving, and you know.
Just to see if I can make this worse, did the carving that Andre gave me of his former muse survive in my pocket?
Yeah, it's there.
Brilliant. I think hearing this, Burton is still like focused on this bottle and kind of pats around in their greatcoat until they grab us. Would this help? And just not even looking, sets down into the middle of the group the headless torso carving.
Yeah. For once, Sir Mordarin, this is definitely reminding you of your ex. I know you're over her, but if there was ever someone who made a carving of your ex's torso, this is it.
I think he definitely tenses up at it, but like he tries to like play it off. He's not playing it off.
Burton, there is no liquid in the bottle, but there is something like softly rattling is too hard a sound. Something's rustling inside it.
Yeah, I'm gonna peer in, trying to get the light just right. Like,
Looks like there's a little scroll in there.
like their face just lights up. Yo, I thought this only happened in fairy tale. I think this is a message in a bottle. Just eagerly trying to get it out.
Right?
Do you think it's from Teeth? You think he's coming?
Maybe.
You get out this scroll, and if you unfurl it, at the top it just says, Burton, heed these cryptid warnings, whispered through the waves and carried by the currents of the deep. Beware the whispers of the coral, where the shadows dance beneath the moon's glow. In their depths lies a secret peril, where truth and lies intertwine, ebb and flow.
Like their whole face just scrunches up, and you can see their lips moving as they're reading it, and they're just.
So what does it say?
It's like a creepy poem, but it's written to me. And we'll like turn it over and show their name at the top.
Are you sure it's not for like another Burton? How common is the name Burton?
I mean, it's a pretty. I suppose it could be to my dad, but he doesn't go by our last name.
It might be safe to say that this is to you. And,
From who?
Who knows? As far as deciphering goes, wouldn't Sir Mordarin have like the highest education as far as reading? Like poetry and stuff seems to be his thing.
Let me see exactly if I have like anything that I have: demons, negotiation, trickery, and patience.
Is there even any coral around here?
I mean, I'll say-
seeing any coral.
Oh
I'll
yeah,
see...
it's low tide. What do we see? You are muted.
You're dead.
Muted.
Who, me?
No.
Good, because there were dogs barking anyway. There's no dogs on this island. Don't worry about it.
Is there? Can I like see if like I don't know if trickery would help, but can I see if there's like any double entendres in like the little poem and see if there's anything that like it's supposed to like I don't know anything that's supposed to mean something else?
I don't even think you have to roll for that, considering the skills that you have.
Okay.
It is clearly for this Burton. Looking at the way it is written, there seems to be. It's a really pretty cursive, like it's practically calligraphy. And the calligraphy puts a certain kind of emphasis on the words shadows, depths, ebb, and flow.
Okay. I'll point it out, but like I'll say like I feel like there's some sort of emphasis between these words, and I'll point to shadows, depths, ebb, and flow, but I'm not sure what that could mean. All I can sense is something is bad in the water, which I don't know. I think we all gathered by now, just a little bit.
Have anything to do with that that still spot that you saw? on the other side of the island? Like maybe now that tide's out, it might look different?
I think like with that, Burton's gonna pop up and start heading that way just to try to see what they could see over there.
Forrest is going to follow Burton.
Before you all leave camp, I want to do a little bit of housekeeping. Because apart from Andre, I want the three of you to make ruin rolls for your visions, for your creepy, creepy effigies, and for what some of you found in your pockets.
Oh, yeah. Forrest would have pulled that out.
Yep. I don't know if the rest would recognize it, but it is your ring. But this time it is tarnished, and it looks like it has been beneath the waves for decades. And there's a single little barnacle on it. Like, instead of where you'd have a gem in the middle of a wedding ring, there's a barnacle.
Oh, God.
You all right there?
Well, I did ask her if there were going to be barnacles involved. I saw the Tide Queen in my dreams.
Was she nice?
You
She look
spoke
like
to
a
She
her?
was
mama?
real pretty.
So you actually spoke to her?
No, she wouldn't answer any of my questions. But she did
Didn't
give
she?
me a sense of peace and calm, which was real nice. That doesn't normally happen in my past lives when I've been under the water. Normally it's a lot of drowning and anger.
Yeah, like, isn't peace and calm what you feel before you freeze to death?
I mean, if you're gonna die, die by freezing to death. It's in your sleep or freezing to death. Two of the best ways to go.
I mean, it's also what you feel when someone's wanting to embrace.
That's valid. That's valid. I'm slightly concerned by the barnacle on the ring. We're not gonna put it on. Because
Maybe.
I
What
don't,
happens if Andre puts it on? Barnacle meets barnacle. That's got to do something, right?
Andre, do you want to try?
You're gonna give me a ring?
I mean, for science sake, as long as we write it down.
I lost my
Science
notebook. I
works.
can't write it down.
I don't think we have anything to write things down with.
You made a fire, so you have little smudgy bits of charcoal if you're truly desperate.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind, but whatever. It's just a ring.
Let's try this. And I hand over my ring.
Just gonna put it
Oh,
on
I got a
there.
1.
I
For a
got
room
a
roll?
2,
Okay.
which is still under my corruption.
Very
I got
good.
a 4.
Which is higher than your ruin.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Please mark a ruin.
Uh-oh.
And also check your
Spaghettios.
DMs.
I feel like I wish I wasn't getting low rolls so I could get clues.
Are they clues or are they just things that are bad for you?
Like,
Clues.
this just kind of sucks as more seawater
I have
comes
yet
out.
to drown once this time.
Yeah.
feel left
Wild.
out.
As you put this glorious ring on that was absolutely not an offering to you, can you roll a d6 for me, please?
Regular D6?
Just a reg. Any d6 you feel has your best interests at heart. Don't make them face at me. You know what game this was when you signed on. 5. Oh, this is lovely. And this is a visible effect, so I don't have to DM you. As you put this ring on, are we going ring finger?
Mm-hmm. Yep,
You did
that
yourself.
Beautiful.
Ring finger.
You slip this ring on. It's a little snug when you get to the knuckle, but you feel like it almost, I need to stop saying the word like. You feel that it resizes to fit your hand better. As it sort of fits into place here, your hand, rather than looking like a regular hand, has this texture overlay as parts of your flesh unravel to look more like a woven basket than like skin and sinew and muscle. You're part fleshy wicker person.
I think Burton had dipped their fingers like in the fire to get ready to write on a piece of wood and just like forgets it all and rushes over and like grabs your hand and is like turning it over and is just like fascinated, like, what in the that's not normal. Does that, and is poking at it and pinching and trying to like, can you feel things? Like they are going full scientist.
Does it still seem to function as like a normal hand?
Yes. But I will say that I don't know how many wicker items you've owned in your life. The
Very brittle.
the snagging danger that your hand is in is undescribable.
I'm so sorry, Miles.
I'm the one who suggested this. I poked that bear.
And I
Okay,
gave
so-
you what you wanted.
So if you take it off, does it go back to normal?
I can try. I'll try and take the ring out.
Oh, that's not coming off. What the fuck do you think is happening here?
Forrest will then go, so that looks a lot like the ring that my husband made for me when we got married that I gave to the effigy.
Pertinent information. A little late.
Yeah, I know, I kind of forgot to say that beforehand.
That
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Do you want the cheese?
Sure, I'll take the cheese.
Great. I was gonna make a suggestion that maybe we make another offering to the Tide Queen, and but I let you use my knife for a little bit to try and make a carving. But now I'm worried it might actually cut open your hand. So
Oh yeah, can you carve now? What's gonna happen to your art?
Oh no. I'm gonna try like grasping different things. Like I'll grasp the miniature carving that Burton left for me. Um, try
Still generally functions for grasping and carving.
and
But again, don't snag it on anything.
You maybe want to wrap that.
maybe is
Do
there
you have
any
any
like
gloves?
maybe
I can
there's like
find
some.
seaweed in the water. I was thinking about taking a dip anyway.
I'm just gonna put my clothes on. That might
Forrest
my
just starts
sleeves
cutting
will
up her
help.
leather vest.
Yeah, for the
And,
record,
like-
Andre's been naked through all of this.
Oh. Are our clothes dry? Because it's been overnight.
No, nothing's dry. Nothing
Yeah.
may ever be dry again at this point. You're not
Yeah.
sure.
Probably got mold growing between your toes.
By any chance, would someone have gloves?
I'm gonna introduce
I
you to
might
Swamp
have-
Ass.
I might have a glove, but that's really like
For slapping.
I could possibly like I don't know, like I haven't stated specifically that my character has gloves, so my character could have gloves, but also my character could not have gloves.
I think your character would have gloves.
Yeah, if in that case I would give a glove. Or I'll give both gloves, because you know, like
So generous.
yeah, give it like it's part of the set, you know? And who
Oh.
knows, what if it spreads?
It's a valid thought.
Wait, so how does this affect my seaweed coral arm? If the ring's on the same arm?
The underwater basket weaving effect sort of goes up to mid arm, and this is where the first barnacle growth is. And you can see that the first two barnacles are joining the wicker effect. And after that, it looks regular.
Interesting.
It's a stacking condition type of thing.
Anything that isn't covered by the glove, Forrest is just gonna wrap leather around.
Just pat everything into place.
Well, Forrest, if you don't mind, at some point, could you just describe in as much detail as you can the Tide Queen to me? I would like to be able to carve her if I could.
Forrest just describes everything.
When Forrest describes her, does she look like my mama? No? Okay.
You have no idea why the effigy ended up looking like your mother that first time. This sounds like someone wildly different. Noticeably, though, as Forrest is describing the effigy to Andre, your first carving of the day was like, okay, so here's kind of a head, here's kind of a torso. Like, we're hacking, right? We have a sharp rock and nothing else. At this point, with your fucked up hands and Forrest describing it, you make this weird hacking motion, and suddenly your carving has flowing seaweed hair. You make another hacking motion, and suddenly your carving has this really slender, well-proportioned arm with barnacles and shells and netting. Make a ruin roll.
Are you turning into the seaweed? I mean, into the tide queen?
Just a carving. It's just a carving. You're muted.
No, I'm not. That was just exasperation.
Look, stop doing stupid things and I stop making you do ruin rolls.
I mean,
What did you
so
roll?
that was the
What did you roll?
5.
Beautiful! Mark a ruin. You roll another d6 for me? Just a regular one.
Oh, that's a 5 again.
Reroll.
2.
2! I'm just gonna DM you.
Anyway, I was thinking about taking a dip if anyone wanted to join me.
Salt water is maybe not. I'm gonna go look at over there. And yeah, I'm gonna go look at the whirlpool and what we can see now that it's low tide.
I'll join you for that dip.
Yeah.
That sounds very
I'll follow
comforting right
Burton.
now.
Yeah, I'll kind of follow Burton. I'll like kind of like start by just, that part of the beach where it's like the wave just reaches the shore. He'll like sit in like that area, just like look out, see what's there.
I will focus this on Burton and Forrest. Where Burton saw that quiet underwater crop yesterday, low tide has revealed the entrance to a cove. There is this tall, narrow cleft into the rock that you're pretty sure wasn't there yesterday. The water is falling and rising really quite gently for the fact that it is next to the whirlpool still. It looks like, honestly, easy passage to way deeper into this cove. From what you can see from here, there is cave walls that are lined with starfish and some snails. And those crops Burton saw yesterday, if you wade closer, and I'm going to assume that you do, because why wouldn't you at this point? This is amazing, right? This is where you wanted to be. If you go closer, it's not a regular crop the way you thought it was yesterday. It is anemones with purple and green that are flowing back and forth with this very gentle tide. Yes, Baker, you may go to the bathroom. You don't need to ask permission.
Are anemones the ones that are like little squids that sting you, or are they the plants?
Yes.
Both. Yeah, they're little plants.
They're little plants, but they do sting you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you're a clownfish.
Well, it also depends on how big the anemone. I'm assuming these are big enough to sting.
None of these are, yes, they are big enough to sting you. They're not big enough to consume you whole. I feel like I need to specify that for this game.
Yeah, is it like put your finger in, or is it like put the arm in it?
Yeah. They're not human eating size. They're very pretty, though. They're very vibrant, and you see little iridescent fish flitting around as well.
Do we want to go explore the cove?
I think we should.
Isn't...
Thought we were going to take a dip.
We was looking for a cove where the treasure goes, right? And if it's right by the whirlpool.
Oh, I'm going to go take a dip.
Wait, is the cave like in the water kind of like, do you have to like wade at least like ankle deep?
You have to go at least chest height for most of you.
Yeah, to get into the cave, yeah. Okay.
Forrest, if Sir Mordarin joined us but Andre didn't, and he's like walking towards the water, Forrest is just gonna be like, checking in on the abandoning you to the sea.
Oh no,
Want or need? Thumbs up, thumb down.
I'm just gonna follow y'all, but
No.
I'll just swim along in the same direction
Yeah, I
y'all
think we
go.
should just like swim along while we're in the ocean, you know?
Yeah, yeah, sounds like a good
Let-
idea. You have good ideas, Sir Mortar.
Before we go charging in, we should get that satchel and get all the supplies we can,
Yep.
just in case. And Sir Mordarin, you're the one who knows most about this with Teeth not being here. How long until the tide starts coming back? Like how much time we got to?
How much time do we have? Yeah. I'm asking as Kai.
As Anniek, who knows?
Okay. I couldn't say. But just
okay. If this cove follows natural law, which it may well not, a few hours. Easily until the evening.
we probably have like a few hours into the evening. We've got a bit of time if we just want to be in and out. I mean, how long could this take? If we're just grabbing stuff.
I don't right now, but we should hustle. I don't
Yeah.
want to be in a cave when this comes back in. That's how you end up. Do I see any corpses?
You can't see too far into the cave. You mainly see cave walls that are enticing you to lure deeper. Burton, as you're looking for corpses, a piece of treasure catches your eye. What kind of treasure is it?
I think it's just a little kind of golden trinket that catches the light, and it is probably like a little carved or sculpted figurine that both confirms to Burton that this is the cove, this is what we're looking for, and they like have to, they bend over to pick it up, have to stay bent over because they start coughing up more water, but they pull it up and are like, this gotta be it, and they turn and they hand it to Andre to get his read on how good the sculpture is.
It's a very good sculpture of your mother.
And just like starts to hold it out, actually looks at it and like pulls it back.
Fine, I don't deal in gold anyways. Can't carve.
I'm going to do the Anniek proof thing where I say Forrest spends some time tying everybody into like long leads, but leads so we can keep track of each other. And also the pack, I don't care who has it, but Forrest is gonna walk up and take some rope and extra secure it to your body.
Put the diving fins on so I can swim faster.
That's fine.
Okay. You have gathered your supplies, meager as they be. You are tied together. You are pushing further into this narrow cleft in the rock. Again, there's no source of light, but these starfish and these bright-shelled snails are reflecting some of the daylight further in. Yes, Baker, was that a hand?
Also, Forrest would have asked Burton for some of the alcohol to clean out her wound.
Happy to.
Because I'm not gonna have you be like, you got an infection.
Look, salt water cleans out.
That's
not
gonna
terribly
sting
bad.
like a mother
Sting
lover.
like a bitch. Yeah,
that's fine. I don't trust Anniek, and I just remembered I had a wound.
It's also
I
entirely
feel like a
valid.
scratch is the least of our problems right now, but
That's so true.
Yeah, and Burton has always been like so patient. Like they're wanting to go. You see a fire under them. So they're like, come on, we only got a certain amount of time. This is it. I feel it in my bones. This is it. We gotta go. We gotta go.
you guys want to take the lead?
Regardless of who takes the lead, you push deeper inside this cove. And it is... geographically, compared to the island you were just on, the things you could see from the surface, this place makes no sense. It is a fairly long way inside. It is deep, deep inside this cove where whoever is in front, I will almost say stumbles upon a group of bloated corpses piled on top of one another as they apparently all died and stayed in the water as they struggled to get to a rotting wooden chest that is in the center of this somewhat larger piece of cave. There's little fish and little crabs that are like nibbling at their bloated bluish flesh as they are swaying gently in the currents. Every corpse still has clearly recognizable features. Andre, Forrest, Burton, Sir Mordarin, all of you are dead in this cave somehow. And that's where we'll pick it up next week. Eva, you're safe to come back. And with that lovely declaration of everyone having already died once before, we'll say goodbye and see you next week. We will quickly go around to our lovely players and they can tell you who they are and where you can find them and any other exciting projects they currently have cooking for you. I don't remember the order I went in the first time and I'm pretty sure Zoom moved. So I'm just going to start with Kai.
I have been Kai, and I'm playing Sir Mordarin, and you can find me online at kaidehesiscrease.com, and I'm planning on starting streaming soon, so I guess I'll watch the space. But yeah, that's on my part.
Alright, thank you very much. Kate.
Hey, well, I am Kay. I have been Burton, who absolutely did not poke a bear this time, but I poked someone else's bear. You can find me at Chaotic Wholesome Presents, where we do all sorts of actual plays and the Table Talk Show every Tuesday. You can find me for the next month on every Thursday over at the Nerdsmith channel, where we are doing a Labyrinth heist game. It is a steampunk Victorian era. Should be very fun. I have other things coming up, but most of them are not announced yet, so I can't say too much more. But
Secrets and riddles.
Right, the NDA life. Find me every other Wednesday at the Emergency Bar Podcast, which is a homebrew Starfinder game where I play the absolute worst character who has ever existed. And that's me.
Fun fact, you are also the winner of a gay little cat cross-stitch.
I love gay cats!
Know where to find each other. So coordinate amongst yourselves for your pride and or gender flag of choice. And congratulations.
I have gay cats, so this is great.
Perfect. I mean, I have an asexual lesbian dog. I am all about that life. Wild.
Yes. Hello, I'm Wild. You can find me here and here on other to be announced, yet to be announced, maybe to be announced projects. And yeah.
Yeah.
I'm playing Andre, who makes the best decisions.
Absolutely the best decisions. I don't want to put things on you, but maybe read up on the reduction rules before next week. Baker.
Hi, my name's Baker. You can find me here playing some games and possibly maybe running one in the future. But other than that, you can find me over on Instagram posting pictures of food and gym workouts because that's all I got outside of Taylor Swift. Cheers.
We were threatened with Taylor Swift lyrics before this began. I feel like you I feel like you choked some of them down. I appreciate that.
I did. I did. I actually choked all of them down because
I'm
I was
so proud of
slightly
you.
afraid you would start Googling stuff that I said.
Look, I'm just gonna paste the transcript into ChatGPT and go like, please identify all Taylor Swift lyrics, and I'm just gonna retroactively give you Ruin. Totally fine. Hi, my name is Anniek. I was everybody else today, and I live to make my players' characters miserable with the consent of their players. I am here on Sundays running horror games. Sometimes I even get to play horror games, and hopefully in the near future I get to play a raccoon cleric who may or may not be wearing a chainmail bikini because we're going to the jungle on a boat, and it's going to be amazing. It's a Humblewood game that we're going to get back to. And then after that, at least Wild and Baker will be back because I will get to run more Mothership on this channel, and I get to run my very first Tales from the Loop game on this channel. I'm super excited about. We'll see if Eva deigns to join us or if she's just going to be our tech person. We'll find out at some point. Additionally, in the near future, we will be opening casting calls for Pride Month, if I remember correctly. There will be several games run on theme. There will be For the Queen. I read something about My Little Pony, which is actually a really fun TTRPG, provided they don't try to make you save Angel, because fuck that bunny. Yeah, exactly. A gorgeous book. Very fun. So keep an eye on the Sorting Key socials for casting calls for Pride Month. And then later on, keep an eye on Sword and Key socials for casting calls for Mothership and Tales from the Loop, because we'll be looking for a few extra players to join what is normally our Vizen group. And then at one point, when I've played slightly more of my indie TTRPGs, we'll get back to Vizen. Maybe. We'll see. Upcoming streams for Sword and Key are Gate Night, which is Baldur's Gate, played in the most chaotic way possible by dear friends of the channel and one of the founders, 6 p.m. Pacific on Tuesdays. It's wild. I thought I played Baldur's Gate chaotically, but they have it down to a science. I don't know what's going on most of the time, but it's always funny. Horizon's Call is off next week, but Trophy Dark is back next Sunday with our final part. We'll see how many of our players make it to the break of the stream. Ruin is piling up quickly with 2 more rings to go for those of you who saw the ring counter on stream. And yeah, we're finalizing the last dates because my holiday is maybe fucking up some plans, but public access is next up on Sundays, and it is starting soon, TM. Hopefully the 2nd of June. Definite date TBD. Again, keep an eye on our socials. It is horror. It is by the same people as who did Brindlewood Bay. It is the Gauntlet again, and it's creepy old school TV station VHS horror, and I'm very excited. I'm playing this weird grunge goth who has no creepy secrets in her past whatsoever. It's all perfectly fine. And I think that's it for now. Again, lots of casting calls coming soon. So if you want to be on this channel with really fun DMs in what I hope is a safe space, come join us. And otherwise, we'll see you next week as we do the final episode of Trophy Dark. We're raiding Girls Run These Worlds, and hopefully see you next week. Be nice to each other.